driving me insane. Silence rattles in my brain. Yeah, I gotta get away. Always waiting for the phone, so I built my towers tall, wandering through these empty halls. Break the cycle now, walls are coming down. I gotta make it out. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Elaine.
Hi Elaine, how you doing today?
I'm good.
That's great to hear that. Okay. Do you have a middle name?
Jessica.
Jessica, that's cute. How old are you, Elaine?
I'm 43 years old.
So where are you originally from?
I'm born and raised here in Philadelphia.
Yo, shout out Philadelphia. We out there. Say what's up to Elaine. She's out here representing. Can you please tell us a little bit about your childhood?
Sure. I was born actually here in Kensington at Episcopal Hospital to my mom and dad. My dad was an IV drug user. My mom, an alcoholic. I witnessed a lot of fighting growing up. There was a lot of chaos in my household. My dad ended up dying when I was 3 from a drug overdose. My mom remarried, and I had an alcoholic stepfather who abused me. He used to come into my bedroom at night and do things that you shouldn't do with your child. And it really messed me up mentally. I blamed myself because I didn't know where to place the blame. I thought that there was something wrong with me, and that's the reason why the people I loved so much would turn around and hurt me. As I got older, I looked for love in all the wrong places. A lot of different men at a very early age I started dealing with. I have 8 children by 7 different men. I'm putting this out there because I want, if anyone can relate, for them to know that they're not by themselves. I started using drugs at 11. I started smoking weed. They say that's the gateway drug, and for me it was. From there, I started using cocaine. I started snorting cocaine. By the age of 12, I was already doing basically everything you could come across. At 15, I started doing dope and have been dealing with it ever since. And like I said, I'm 43. I'm probably one of the lucky ones that I've made it to this age, because a lot of people I've known are gone. Even till this day, I have people dying around me. And my friend died this morning as a result of this, and it made me think about how we take so many things for granted on a daily basis, especially our lives. When it comes to this, it feels like the one thing that numbs us is the one thing that causes us the most pain. I can't say that it has brought me any happiness. it has taken everything that I love away from me. My children, my grandkids, my mother, my father, everything that I've ever loved. But it's the one thing that I desire the most. And I've always been afraid that I was going to end up dead like my father because of this disease. And the harder I hit the streets, the harder I hit the drugs, the closer I feel that that's what my end will be like. And I'm scared of that. If I could just give a piece of advice, if you're thinking about using, if you're thinking or somebody is glorifying drugs to you, don't fall for it. There's nothing glorious about this lifestyle. Nothing glamorous and nothing glorious. It's like they say, it'll end in jail, institution, or death. And for a lot of people, there's no coming back.
Out here in Kensington, how complicated is the process for you to get
Oh, it's
drugs?
horrible sometimes. Sometimes it's real easy, but sometimes it's really hard. Prostitution is the main thing for us girls, and some of the guys too, because there's guys out here working the streets as well. But some days, be lucky if you get $5 in a day, and there's days that I make hundreds of dollars. Boosting, going out there, boosting, selling drugs. You know, sometimes you gotta do something strange for some change.
So now with the whole prostitution thing, how does that impact how others see you?
Well, I mean, some people, well, a lot of people, they knock the hustle. But then there's some people that don't knock the hustle, you know? I mean, you do what you have to do in order to survive. And sometimes it's a very dangerous game, because you're dealing with rapists out here, men that don't care about the next life and have been hurt by mothers who used to be prostitutes, and are very angry towards prostitution. So it's a dangerous game, very dangerous.
How was your first date like? The first time you did a date, how was it like?
I think I dated and didn't even know I was dating. Like, that's how long ago it was. But I remember the first time I gave myself up for an exchange because I needed something from that person. And I felt so disgusted with myself. I felt dirty. I felt very low. But it's like anything else. The more you do it, the more immune to it you become, to a point where you just become numb.
How do you know how much to charge?
You learn as you go. And then again, you also have other women that you look to. I mean, when you first come out here, you don't know who to talk to, who to ask questions to. And like, now that I've been out here for a long time, I have younger girls coming up underneath me that come and ask me questions all the time, you know, but it's just something you learn as you go along. And as your habit increases, the money needs to go up as well. So you start asking for more money.
Wow. What has been your worst dating experience?
Being raped by someone that I had already dated. So it was someone that I trusted. I went with him, and it just happened recently. I remember walking away with him and thinking to myself, I'm probably with the most safest person I could possibly be with, because he was a security guard and he still had his security uniform on. He pulled a knife on me and raped me. And it was one of the most painfulest things I've ever endured. And I remember just crying the whole time and him telling me to shut up. And I just couldn't believe that that was the same person that I had been with prior to that. It was like being with two different people, because the first time I dated him, that was not my experience.
Do you file a police report when that happened?
No, I did not.
And why was the reason you didn't?
Because I've seen how the police act towards us prostitutes.
Okay.
Everything that happens to us, we pretty much deserve in their eyes.
On a date, what are some requests that you will absolutely not do?
Anal. It's a negative, it's not happening. I don't like it. It brings back bad memories for me, and I just won't do it.
Have you been arrested for prostitution?
Yes. The longest time I did in jail was 8.5 months back in like 2011.
Okay.
Been locked
Okay.
up quite a few times.
All right. What were some of the charges?
Prostitution, fraud, distribution of narcotics. What else? It's been quite a few charges.
Okay.
Theft by deception, writing bad checks, just different things. Anything that basically could get me money that was illegal, I was into it.
Have you had any best dating experience?
Yeah, I had a great experience with one person, and the only reason being was because he spent like $4 grand with me.
Do you practice safe sex out here?
Of course.
That's great. Have you been tested for any STDs and
Yes.
stuff like that? That's awesome.
But don't get me wrong, I have caught STDs.
All right, so let's get back to fentanyl. In the daytime, how many bags would you say you use?
As much as I possibly can. Sometimes it'll be like 2 or 3. Sometimes a bundle or 2.
How did you feel the first time you tried heroin?
Well, I OD'd. That was a horrible experience. My mom, a friend of mine, had to go and get my mother. I was 15 years old, and I OD'd on heroin right after I had, oh God. I had just had my first child, and I found out I was pregnant with another. And I ended up having an abortion after I had just had my first child. And the night that I had the abortion, I went out with some friends and we did a stick up. After we did the stick up, we had gotten some dope, some crack. That's what we had stuck the corner up for. And I decided to try the heroin. And the guys that we were with started feeding it to me after the first bag. Once they saw that I was high, I was gang raped that night. And they wrote all over my body. I ended up in a coma for 2 weeks. My mom came to the hospital, and my mom, I remember her telling me that when they found me, my body temperature was 72 degrees, and a normal body temp is 98.6. I had writing all over my body in red marker where the guys that we ended up with were writing and tagging up their names and their street corners on my body, like if it was a canvas or it was just a wall where they could tag up. Like I said, I was gang raped and left to die. When my girlfriend found me, I was in a puddle of blood. And the guys that we were with, the one guy that was left, said that he wasn't taking me to the hospital and he wanted to leave me there. And my girlfriend forced him to. And then she went and got my mother and told my mom that I was dying in the hospital. So it wasn't the greatest experience. Why did I try it again later? I don't know. I really don't know. I think I was just so fed up with life. A part of me wanted to die for a long time, and still does sometimes. But I can't, I don't have the, I don't feel like I can do it myself. So I just hope and pray sometimes that it'll just happen and I won't feel nothing.
How is your mental health out here in Kensington?
It's hard. It's really hard. Like, there's days where I open my eyes and I don't want to get out of bed. Like, I don't want to deal with life. And a lot of it has to do with seeing so many hurting people around you. Just watching how many of my brothers and sisters out here are hurting. And we all have a story, all of us. You don't just wake up one day and decide to use. It comes from pain somewhere along the line. Something that you couldn't deal with, or it's just too hard to handle. And you just want to numb it.
So how do you stay safe out here?
Prayer, lots of it. And no, I'm not ashamed to say that, yeah, I pray every day. Even when I'm ready, when I'm walking down the street, trying to get into someone's car, yeah, I pray and ask God to please keep me safe.
In the daytime, 24-hour period, what's the longest you can go without using drugs?
It's not 24 hours. I think the longest I could probably go is maybe about 4 hours, if that.
And how much do you spend daily buying drugs?
It depends on how much money I made. I try to at least make $100 a day, because that's where my habit is, about $100 to $200 a day.
How do you eat?
I go to Prevention Point. I buy food at the corner stores. I cook my own food.
Do you feel any shame or guilt due to your drug use?
All the time. My biggest shame is that the one thing I was angry with my dad for, I felt like he abandoned his children for his drugs, is the same thing that I turned around and did to my own children. And that's my biggest shame, that I wasn't there for them the way I should have been. But a part of me feels that I saved them from a really bad life.
So what do you love more than your addiction?
My babies. My kids, I love them more than life itself. Being with my family. When I am allowed around my family, I love it. It's the only time I feel alive, and the only time I feel loved and cared for without having to put on a front or a facade for them. They know who I am, and they love me regardless, even though it pains them to see me in this state.
Got you. What has someone said to you that stick in your mind that you'll never forget?
I remember going before my juvenile judge, Judge Reynolds, years ago. I was 17 going on 18, and I had caught my first case, and I got caught with 5 bundles of heroin, $200, and I got locked up by task force. And I remember being brought in front of him because I guess because I had a heroin case, and he despised people that dealt heroin, and I remember him telling me, I want you to take a good look at your face in the mirror right now, because if you continue down the path that you're going, one day that face is not going to be there, or you won't recognize who's standing in front of that mirror. And that just always stuck with me. I know I don't look the way I should look at this age. I feel like when I started doing fentanyl, it started making me age. It was making me look like I was older than I should. And that really brings that thought back to mind when he told me that.
What have you learned from your addiction?
What have I learned from my addiction? Oh man. Whew, I've learned a lot of things from it. But I think the one thing that I've learned the most is that I shouldn't love something that doesn't love me back.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. It just takes everything away from you, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it takes everything. Anything that matters to you, anything that is important to you, it takes it right out of your life. The only time I've ever gotten clean was back in 2000, and I had 7.5 months clean for the first and only time in my life.
What triggered you into going back to using?
I had convinced myself, because I was in a program and I didn't have money for cigarettes and stuff that I needed, that I could go back to prostituting and not get high. And that's so far from the truth. I thought that I was just going to do it and I would be okay. But I felt so low and so disgusted with myself that I went to the one thing I knew would numb that feeling, and I went back to using.
You know, fentanyl, there are a lot of household products being mixed in it. Are you concerned with what you're putting in your body?
Every day. And the reason being is that a couple months ago, I had injected something, and I remember feeling weird in the spots that I had injected in. And slowly but surely, I noticed that I started getting scabs. And not just scabs, regular scabs, like these huge scabs. And at one point, I noticed that there was a hole, like literally every day, just eating away into my hands, into my skin. And I have sores like this all over my body. I started waking up with sores everywhere. And it was from this drug that they had put out here, and it made me start thinking, like, they probably selling us rat poison, you know, like they're just putting anything together and selling it just so that they can make money off of us. And because we're so desperate and in need of the drug, because our bodies, it's not just our minds that are addicted, our bodies are addicted. Like, I can't go without getting sick for more than 24 hours without using. Like, I will get literally sick to a point where I can't control my bowels. I vomit. I can't eat. And whatever I'm throwing up is bile. It's just your stomach lining. So,
wow.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
Like, they're just giving us anything at this point. It's not even dope anymore.
Definitely not. How long do you think you're going to continue down this path?
I have no idea. I wish I could tell you. I know that every day I get more and more angrier and more disgusted with this lifestyle. It's like they say, if the drug don't kill you, the lifestyle will. Mm-hmm. Everything about it is driving me nuts. Like, I hate waking up to this. So it's getting more and more intense.
Where are you currently living?
I was homeless. I was just living in a shelter. I just got my apartment a few months ago.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm out in West Philly now, and I have my own place.
Did you get the apartment through the shelter?
Yes.
So how was that process like for you to get in the shelter? Was it easy or difficult?
It was, at the time that I went in, it was easy because they had just opened it up and they were trying to get so many people from the encampments off the streets and into shelters. And I had just started staying underneath Emerald Street Bridge. I had just left an abusive relationship and I started staying underneath Emerald Street Bridge. And I had been there for maybe 2 days when outreach came through and asked if there was anybody that that needed help or wanted to go into the shelter, and I told them I did, and I explained to them my situation, and the lady called immediately and got me in. I was given an apartment prior to the one that I'm in now. I was there for almost a year, and I ended up losing it because I allowed somebody to come and stay with me. So when they tell you don't let nobody move in, don't, because you will lose your place. I was given a second chance, and I got another place, but I had to go back to the shelter for another 6 months.
Okay. So how is it in the shelter? What was your experience in there, like the good and the bad?
I love them people. I mean, you got some really touched people, and then you got people. It's like any other place that you go to, like jail. You get your clique. You find where you fit in, and it's like a family. Like, you can fight and argue and go through it, and next thing you know it, that one person you was fighting and arguing with is the one person that's saving your life right now. You know?
So well, in the shelter, what was your biggest pet peeve?
The bathrooms.
Well, what is it about the bathroom?
Just the way other people would leave them.
Understand.
Yeah, but you have to accept that. I mean, because you're in somebody else's house. That's not your crib.
What is your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple, that's
the
what's
color
up.
of royalty, because I'm a queen.
Yes, you are a queen. You heard that. She's a queen, guys, and she is. Do you have any favorite foods?
Yeah, I like, it's a dish that my mom makes. A lot of Spanish people know what I'm about to say. It's called bacalao guisado.
Ooh.
And it's codfish, and it's just wonderful the way that I just love it, the way my mom makes it. It's my favorite dish. So every time I would get released from jail or come home from rehab, that's what I would come home to. And I miss my lady, my favorite lady.
Sounds good. That's nice to hear that. Do you have a favorite ice cream flavor?
I'm lactose intolerant. I'm not supposed to like ice cream, but I like cherry vanilla.
Okay. Okay, all right. What are some of your favorite candies?
Oh man, Hershey's cookies and cream.
Sounds good. Do you have a favorite band or artist?
Not really, because I like all kinds of music.
Got you. So what is one thing that you do every day to make sure you take care of yourself?
I won't leave my house without praying.
That's awesome. It's great to hear that, you know.
That's and I, to be honest with you, I pick up my word. I read my word every day.
Me and the audience would like to know, what is your zodiac sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Yo, shout out to all the Cancers. Say what's up to your girl, sir, husband, love. You know, Cancers, they are riders. They'll ride with you. You know, they're good people, very caring.
Yes, we are. We hard on the outside, but we're soft on the inside.
Elaine, when you was a little girl, what do you want to become when you grow up?
Honestly, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Are you a high school or college graduate?
No, I'm not. Neither.
Okay. Do you have any religious or spiritual belief?
I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior when I was 18 years old.
Amen. Where do you believe you'll go when you die?
I'm hoping to heaven.
Pray you do go to heaven. When you look at yourself in the mirror now, what do you see?
I see someone who's gotten lost, but God's still giving me another chance. I've always believed that what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. So whatever I've gone through in life and what I'm going through, if I'm still breathing, it's because he has a plan and a purpose for my life. So, and I believe he's taking me there.
Absolutely. What is your favorite restaurant?
I can't really say.
Okay, we'll move on. Do you have a favorite clothing store?
I like the Express.
Express. That's good. Sunrise or sunset, which one are you?
Most of my life, I've always been out at night.
Why?
I hate to say that, but they say the freaks come out at night, right? And that's where the money was at, in the nighttime, you know. But ever since that incident that I told you guys about, I don't even bother coming out at night anymore.
If you can travel to any place or country in the world, where would you go?
I want to go to Israel.
Why?
I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with I want to walk where Jesus walked.
Sounds great. Sounds really great. At the end of the night, when you go to sleep, what are some things that you dream about?
That's a whole issue in itself. I've been dealing with night terrors most of my life. My own children won't sleep in the same room with me because I suffer from really bad night terrors, and we believe it has to do with me being abused for so many years, and it still plays out in my dreams.
Are you currently in a relationship?
No.
Are you interested in a relationship?
No.
What do you look for in a partner?
Nothing anymore.
Why?
I don't want to be in a relationship. I want to be by myself. I want to get to know me. I don't think I've ever given myself a chance. I would jump in and out of relationships for so many years with different people. I just want to be alone. Like, I like being alone. And I don't like answering to people, so it's just where I'm at this age.
Okay. Elaine, what are some of your pastime hobbies?
I like reading. I like writing. I'm a poet.
Wow.
I like writing song lyrics. And those were things that came, believe it or not, through my pain. I remember I cried out to God one day. I was real angry, and I said, God, how come I don't have a talent? Why does everybody have talent except me? And just like I'm talking to you, I heard something say, your pain is your talent. And I started writing, and what I wrote was poetry. And after that, it was just song lyrics and poetry. And it's something I enjoy doing because I feel like it's the only way that I can express myself and feel good about what I've been through.
Absolutely. What does happiness mean to you?
Happiness? Happiness to me would mean no pain, no suffering, just enjoying my life with my family, and just embracing everything that is good in my life.
That sounds fantastic. When you hear the word art, what do you think? What in your mind? What comes up in your mind when you hear art?
Art to me is painting, writing, dancing, singing, all the things I love.
Awesome, awesome. That's great to hear. If you had 3 wishes in this world, what would your 3 wishes be?
Would be one, to have a chance to start over, but knowing what I know now. 2, another chance to raise my children and be there for them this time. And a chance to be with my loved ones, the ones that are gone.
Do you stay in touch with your kids and your family?
Yes, yes. I'm in contact with 3 out of my 8 children. A couple of them were adopted and I haven't seen since 2007.
Gotcha.
But they just started reaching out to my other children.
That's good.
And they want to make contact with us. So
if your friends and your family, your kids, if they see this video, what message would you like to send to them?
you know I love you guys, and I'm glad that I was able to sit down and do this interview, because like I said earlier, I don't believe everything that I went through was for nothing. And if there's anyone out there that can relate or can take anything from this message and it can help them, then I did my job.
If you had a message to send to the world, what would your message be?
Be good to yourselves. Love yourself. If you're hurting, find someone to talk to, or find a way to let it out. Because a lot of times when we hold things in, we self-destruct. If you feel like you're headed down that path, find some way to let it out. And please don't pass judgment on people, because you never know what the next person is going through. Like, you don't know the next person's story. You don't know where they're coming from or where they're going. So please don't pass judgment, because that could be you at any given time.
Absolutely, guys. You heard that, and she's absolutely right. We're wrapping up the interview. We want to tell Elaine, thank you so much for opening up, sharing some of her, vulnerable secrets. It's the internet. Show her a lot of love. Hope her interview resonate with some people and somebody can take something away from this. Shining light on the struggle out here. God bless her, and may He keep her safe out here. I appreciate you guys, for tuning in. Everybody have a blessed day. Stay safe and be better, not bitter. Peace out.
Gotta save me from myself. This emptiness, it hurts like hell. My good intentions let me down. I keep getting in my way. My stubborn pride will dig my grave. Leaving behind with every step I take. Yeah, cycle down, walls are coming down. Yeah.